Welcome to Countdown to Infinity, a Marvel's Avengers podcast. We talk all things Marvel Cinematic Universe, including the now almost 30 films, the TV shows and series on Disney Plus. And you know what? For this episode, we're also talking about a ride.
Yeah, some experiences.
An MCU ride. Yeah, so we're I guess this is not just film TV. We're now into the
real world
real
universe.
World stuff.
What?
Yeah, how exciting.
Breaking some barriers.
My name is Emmanuel.
My name is Sofia.
And I know we missed last week because of COVID.
Gosh, it feels like forever.
It does feel like a while. I think I asked you, how many weeks have we missed?
Because it felt like so long.
Just one.
Just one.
We haven't missed a week, I think, in years at this point.
But I mean, just having that 1 week is, I think, because also we were sick, and it was the very first time ever, too. And so, it just felt like so long for us, if that makes sense. So, oh man, but I'm so happy to be back.
Yeah, just a reminder to everyone, it may not seem like it, but COVID is definitely still out there.
It is.
We're both vaxxed and boosted, and we got this new strain. So still,
Yeah.
Andrew, I think, jokes around about wiping your hand, wash your hand and your butt and all that stuff. But for sure, keep doing that
actually do
stuff.
it.
Yeah, no, oh boy. Well, hopefully that's it. Hopefully we don't take another break like that. But luckily for us, nothing new really came out apart from some news, but...
Yeah, really, we planned it that way. So
yes, we're not allowed to get sick during, I think, a season of
during
a
releases.
show or whenever a movie comes out. But which is starting to become less and less. We don't really have much time to be sick because there's so much stuff happening.
Yeah.
So this episode, we're going to talk about I Am Groot, and then
So
talk
cute.
about our experience riding the brand new Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind ride at Disney World's Epcot. I think that, that's going to be really enjoyable to talk about, but definitely something that I think is just the beginning, I guess, of the MCU as rides. And, and now I'm talking about it, we've done multiple MCU rides.
Yes,
actually.
we have, for
We'll
sure.
talk about some of those too. But before that, just a reminder to you, and I'm sure you don't need the reminder, but She-Hulk Attorney at Law will have its premiere on the day you're listening to this, on Monday.
Yes.
And the series will be launching on August 18th. That is this Thursday. 9 episodes. So we'll be talking
We will be
talking weekly about the episodes of She-Hulk Attorney at Law every Thursday starting next week.
Yes, we will.
Are you excited to do another show?
I am. Again, because it feels like it's been so long since we've been up here. So yeah, I'm just excited to be back in general.
Yeah, this is the final, I guess, piece of content, the final show in Phase 4 of Marvel. Tatiana Maslany, of course, as She-Hulk. We know that Mark Ruffalo is in it, and a whole bunch. I think Wong is in it. But I'm really excited because as we get closer to the release date, we're seeing more and more of Daredevil.
Ooh, yeah.
There's a lot of Daredevil. I mean,
is.
It makes sense. He's a lawyer.
It makes a lot of sense, yeah.
So,
and also, I'm more excited about it now that we have some more tidbits here and there. Or is it tidbits? No.
Tidbits. T-I-D.
Tidbits.
Yeah.
Not titbits. No.
No.
Tid. But yeah, before I wasn't as stoked for it, but now I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. A 30-minute courtroom comedy.
Yeah.
That's a lot of That's a lot of stuff.
I imagined it more. Oh my gosh, what is it?
Night Court. That's really old, actually.
Well, I mean, no, but I imagined it more like 90s comedy type. You know what I mean? Like Will and Grace type comedy, or like Friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like one of those, but obviously no live audience, but just as quirky and
Yeah.
But I feel
sitcom.
like it's not going to be that sitcom-y.
I don't know.
I think it's gonna be an actual because she breaks the fourth wall a lot.
Yeah,
right? She
just
turns
like in the comics.
Yeah.
But 30 minutes is a very nice, and I think you can get a lot of jokes. You can cram a bunch of jokes in there.
right.
The people writing it are, assumedly pretty funny people, and I think that it's just going to be different. And I think it's set in the West Coast, and that's really big because Daredevil, who is known for being kind of the guy in Hell's Kitchen, New York, that means he's hopping on a bus, getting over to the to California, which is going to be interesting too.
A bus?
Or a plane. I don't know, whatever. But I think what we're going to see is maybe some of the day in the life stuff of the MCU, not so much the end of the world, but what happens when one of the superheroes we know and love gets in trouble, like Abomination accidentally blows up a a car or something. Like someone
Whoopsies.
has to pay for that, and I think that's what we're gonna see with
Yeah.
She-Hulk. Gonna be pretty fun. I think for a while there was going to be a show, and I gotta look into this. It was a Marvel show. I don't know if it was MCU, and it was about the people that were cleaning up after the like Spider-Man like
Oh,
webs up the
yeah.
whole city. It was like it was supposed to be a comedy. I don't think it moved forward,
No.
but I think this. I mean, is not just moving forward. It's coming out on Thursday. So
Kinda-
we'll have to see.
Kind of close to those vibes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that every week. But let's talk about something new that's easily bingeable on Disney Plus.
Oh yeah.
And that is the new series of animated shorts called I Am Groot. I mean,
I think we kind of talked about this.
Yeah.
You say series.
yeah,
Dis-
I can't even call it that. That's
Disney-
not fair.
Disney Plus says series. Look at this new series. It's like a minute.
Yeah.
It's a minute of cuteness, and
Yeah, I
it's
think
a
the
minute
longest
of
episode
mischievous
6
Groot.
minutes or something. So they really are almost just the length of a trailer.
of a movie.
They're shorts. There was another one. I forgot what it was called about the dog. It was Doug from Up.
Oh yes.
I forgot what the show was
Dog
called.
Days.
Doug Days,
Doug
maybe?
Days,
Doug
Doug
Days.
Days, yeah.
But that was even longer than this.
Yes, it was.
But yeah, I get it. You know, we're going to talk about these episodes, what we like, you know, with some fun stuff. But Disney Plus, you got to just get shows out there.
Yeah.
Because you can't be putting out these shorts and saying
I
it's a
feel
new.
like that's cheating.
And it's kind of wild because I Am Groot, which is, you know, we'll talk about it, it's great, but they previewed this footage at like shareholder conferenses. They would
Yeah.
tease it, they would drop posters and stuff, and overall it's just a handful of it's 5 episodes, it's like 20 minutes of stuff.
Yeah.
And they were teasing it like it was like, you know, a brand new giant.
I would have been
thing.
happy with it for being like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Not
Anyways,
even a full 30.
Yeah,
it
kind of a
just-
half episode of a cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we still really enjoy it. So I'm going to go through the 5 episodes.
We're only
This-
complaining about the time
I
because we
know.
wanted it
And
to
it's
be
less of-
longer.
it's not about I Am Groot. This is more a Disney Plus thing.
Yeah.
Like this is not just them. They're doing this a lot.
And we're
now.
not saying that the content is bad. It's super cute. That's why we're complaining. Like we want more
Yeah.
of it. It's really nice.
Do like a full Groot thing. You know, if you want to aim it at kids, fine, do it. But don't just
Show me what it looked like it as a teenager. You know, what's he
Yeah.
doing?
Give us a lot. But this is really created, written, directed by a talented filmmaker, Kristen Lepore, who's done things like Adventure Time. So a lot of great people
Love
behind it,
Adventure Time.
including James Gunn, who produced it, and a bunch of other
Of course.
of the MCU people. But the first episode is Groot's First Step. What do you think about this episode? I mean, it's short. It's him against a bonsai tree.
Yeah, and I mean, he has clearly a lot of feelings, and
Yeah.
you're reminded very
Big spoiler in the title, right?
yeah, and honestly, like you're reminded very quickly about how little he is. Like I forgot how tiny
Yeah.
he actually was going to be in all of
And
this.
James Gunn has to clarify this a lot. Like, this is a different Groot
yes,
than the one that died in the first Guardians. That Groot was killed. He protected
Mm-hmm. Yes.
his friends, and this new Groot that we're seeing is Groot 2 or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
is like a baby from the sapling that they saved from
yes,
him. So this is a
Yes.
real baby.
Yes, it is, and different personality. You can tell because he's more rambunctious.
Yeah.
He gets aggressive so quickly. I mean, it's cute because it's like baby aggression, but like
That's I feel like is like a James Gunn thing because it can't be too friendly. Like he can't. It's gonna skirt that, but he still gets upset and he's still strong. And yeah, it kind of is a mix of the two, which is kind of funny. It's that Guardians vibe. So Groot's First Step.
Also, I was wondering after this episode, like, okay, we're on a ship, right? Like, obviously the Guardians, and I also wanted to know who was going to be in this little mini series
Yeah.
because there's a lot of animation involved, obviously. So like,
Yeah.
and Chris Pratt's super busy. And,
Yeah,
you
it
know?
is. It's it works because Vin Diesel is back. I guess can you even say that he's
Technically,
Yeah,
I mean,
but-
he could get away with not being back too, though. Like, I wouldn't be able to tell if this was like a kid or if
Yeah.
this was somebody else
Well,
saying
he
it.
definitely voiced this baby Groot, but I think it's nice when you center something around baby or Groot just in general because it's gonna mostly be a silent thing. Like it's not necessarily so heavy on
There's going to be dancing or
exposition. It's
something.
nice and quick and fun. Episode 2 is called The Little Guy. It's when he finds a population of what's called grunts.
Oh my gosh. I think this was my favorite
They're
episode.
those little guys. It's a super funny app. He basically uncovers them and accidentally.
Well,
tries
first
to-
it starts with him getting picked on.
yeah.
Like he was trying to build something himself, and for some reason, everything that's that's bigger than him just decided to take over his little project, and he gets frustrated. And because he's such a child, literally, he goes from. I mean, emotions go very quick.
It's like a tantrum almost. Yeah.
It's like 0 to 100, very quick. And so as he's like throwing this tantrum, he discovers this little society underneath a rock, literally.
And it's funny because it escalates to them being kind of like these primordial, just cute little things, to them having weapons and attacking Groot, and Groot becoming a monster, then wanting to help them, and then,
Yeah.
of course, like accidentally stepping on them, which I think is like the big joke of the app. But then they're alive. Like that was huge, I think. But then that's again like that James Gunn Guardians thing of, it could be a little morbid, but
Yeah,
it's fine at the end. Number 3 is Groot's Pursuit. This is a dance-off with Groot and a new, I guess, creature, a shape-shifting alien,
Yeah.
Iwa.
It remi-
Iwua.
Is it supposed to be pronounced ew?
Iwa. Yeah, maybe.
Ew. Okay. So this episode reminded me a lot of the Pokemon Ditto, and I liked it because it showed Groot like the classic type of Groot like we see with him dancing and like having fun, but then like he switches super quick into like this little mischievous. I really don't know what age Groot is supposed to be because he's so smart and he keeps up with the group so well. So I want to say maybe he's like 9, 8 years old. I mean, I really don't know, but he tricks this little alien thing into showing like what it actually is supposed to look like, and it was just crazy. It's such a good episode.
Yeah, and again, ends kind of tough. He kills that alien, sends it into space.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't die. The next step is called Groot Takes a Bath. This one's fun. He makes a mud bath.
Oh yeah.
The mud lets his hair grow. He does a bunch of really fun things with the hair and annoys a squirrel bird looking thing. It's called a Gangalorian
It's like
squirrel
a
bird.
toucan type thing. I'm trying to think back to see if these creatures. I know the one in the second episode where he finds the little society. I know that those are one of those animals or creatures were part of a ride that was a Disney attraction in California. That was Guardians of the Galaxy. So I was like, whoa! Like they tied that into there. That's really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, the little toucan bird thing or squirrel
it's a
thing.
Gangalorian squirrel bird.
That one, a Gangalorian squirrel bird. God, that's amazing. That was really cute too. I liked all the hairstyles that he created. I think my favorite one was whenever he dresses up as a princess and he's like frolicking through the
Walking
woods.
around, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, kind of an insane ending because Groot takes the hair from this squirrel that's kind of mean to him.
Yeah.
And now it's
like
his hair.
And it's like shivering in the tree, poor thing.
Groot is kind of ruthless, huh? The final episode is called Magnum Opus. This one actually has another character from the Guardians, Rocket Raccoon, voiced by Bradley Cooper. It's I kind of guess what they were doing from the beginning when he's collecting a bunch of different objects, Groot, including like setting off a bomb, a glitter bomb. It's like a natural ending to these shorts because he is making like a kid's type craft of his family.
And Drax is in this one too. He's just shown showering. He's not like fully shown, but it's
You didn't see that Drax hog?
No, you didn't. But you're meant to believe that that's Drax too.
Yeah.
Which I think is cool. Rocket made a lot of sense to me to be in this again because
super close. Yeah.
because of the animation part of it, and I mean Bradley. They could have just honestly gotten like tidbits. No, gotten little pieces from Bradley's recordings from here and there, and then just stitched it together, which is like, just go through the archives and you're fine. But super cute. I love the little picture that he made. And he got a little piece of everybody. He has a little piece of Rocket's tail, and like it's just so cute, so cute.
Yeah. I mean, overall, really fun to see what Groot's up to, I guess, when no one is paying attention. The rest of the Guardians are off doing their own thing, and Groot's getting into a lot of trouble, really.
He's a little baby.
He's a little baby.
That's what he does. He's a rambunctious
A
Groot.
little ruthless, a little fun. He's kind of doing whatever makes him happy, all before it becomes kind of the team that we see later on in Endgame and stuff like that. But it's a really fun show. I just kind of, I don't know, like I
You want
question
more.
why you make these little shorts at all. Like it's
Yeah.
fun. I'm glad they did it. It fills in a lot of like those dots that I think people are watching, but it's just not even enough for you to I mean, literally 20 minutes
To sit down
to watch
and-
all of them. Yeah.
yeah,
It's not like enough even to sit your kids in front of to take some of their time. Like these are
Yeah.
shorts, which, I like. They're great. I'm just not sure if you should be marketing it as like
A series.
a series or
Yeah.
anything. And then you go on Disney Plus right now. They fill up like 6 tiles with different I Am Groots.
You know what these are like? These are very similar to those Olaf stories where he recreates plots
Yeah.
to Disney
Yeah.
movies where
Yeah.
they're like very quick and you're like, what? Like, this is great. And then it's over.
Yeah,
Like,
I think I think honestly, my assumption is this is all placeholders before they really get to all of their Star Wars.
Oh, of course.
At some
All
point
the
they'll
big
have new
things,
stuff
the
every
bigger
single
things, yeah.
month or something. But until then, we got these things. But overall, I Am Groot, fun, cute, bunch of cute little stories.
Yeah.
Definitely not a reason not to watch him. It really didn't take much time.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about something that might legitimately, I mean, it is a longer experience than all of these I Am Groots, and that is the brand new ride at Disney World's Epcot, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. It's a dark coaster that opened in the summer. I found out recently that it cost $500 million, $500 million. It's a very fast ride, 60 miles per hour. Heights go up to 42 feet, 2 G forces, or how do you call that? Like I don't know.
2 G's.
2 G's. The ride itself lasts about 3.5 minutes, but there's a lot of like nice Q stuff. There's some good story. I guess before we get into it and talk a little bit about Xandar and all of that extra stuff, what did you think of the ride, Sophia? We rode it like maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yes. So those of you who don't know me, I am terrified of rides. So weeks before we rode this, I was already looking up what the ride looked like, how it was constructed, also like POV videos of the ride because I do not like to be surprised. I need to be able to see it before I ride it, just so I know what to expect. I mean, some people consider that spoilers. I don't care. Like, it's just to make me feel better because I get really anxious and, I'm not good with heights and fast stuff. Nah, it's fine. But this ride actually didn't have a lot online because it's dark most of the ride. So I just saw the beginning, which is probably the most intense part. And I was super nervous because there's a lot that happens. But then riding it was such a fun experience, and it's like everything went away, and I felt so silly for even being nervous to begin with, and it was just a lot of fun, and there was so much detail in the ride that that was just specifically for Guardians, and it was so exhilarating, and just it was awesome. I remember leaving and I felt so proud of myself. I felt like a big girl.
It's a very specific ride. And I guess, I'll talk about some of the context and we'll let you know when some of the spoilery stuff, I guess, we'll talk about happens. But it's based around Xandar, which we know from Guardians 1. Glenn Close is back playing Nova Prime Irani
Yes.
Rael. And then, of course, we've got some like new people from Xandar, like Terry Crews, who kind of helps you along talking about the planet and what's going on.
I was
and
really
basically,
surprised by that.
The Guardians are surprised by oh shoot, what are they called? A celestial. Yeah, Iso? I
Yes.
think Isan the celestial who Isan, yeah, a celestial who's seeking something and he steals it from I believe Earth, right? Is this steal from Earth or Xandar?
It's Earth.
Steal something from Earth or they call it like Terra. Yeah,
Actually,
no,
it may be.
it's Earth. It's Earth. It's Earth.
I think, yeah, it is Earth. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Earth. Steal something, and then basically the ride, you're with the Guardians trying to retrieve it, and it's kind of a all right. Spoiler alert, I guess starts now. Like the ride itself is like Space Mountain if the little carts that you're in can go backwards and forwards
And turn all at the same
turn
time.
At the same time. Like, and when I mean backwards, it actually goes backwards on a track.
Yes.
You're kind of going around space, but there's very specific things for scope. Like, it seems like you're in a room surrounded by IMAX screens later on.
Yes, it does.
Especially when, you kind of catch up to the Celestial. And then what's really fun is the fact that they imbue it with a lot of Guardian stuff. Like, there are different soundtracks. You can ride it multiple times. The
so
soundtracks
fun.
are different. And they are pace up to the ride. So, you get some of that Quill playlist going on.
Of course.
So, yeah, I mean, it's just a really fun, I think, ride. And as you're waiting, you're seeing a bunch of facts on Xandar and things like that. But when you're in the ride, like in the pre-show stuff, like there's an emergency that happens and you got to go get something.
Well, Disney's so good. I mean, they have theme parks down to a science. Like, they know that you're going to be waiting probably a little while, even though we didn't really wait that long. They just want to make the whole thing an experience, and it's not just like a boring line type or traditional like line or waiting area. They want to make it like they want to make you excited for the ride, and so they want to like contribute to the story of the ride, and it's awesome the way that they do it. It's like one of the spoiler alerts, one of the waiting rooms that you are in. There's like a giant screen and it kind of like tells you the story about what's going to happen and why it's happening and whatever. But even as you walk in, we're like supposed to be teleported somewhere
up into the ship, into the Xandar ship.
And then the whole room kind of transfers into where we went.
You sound, I don't know what you just said.
It sounds insane. I know. The whole room, do you remember? Like the whole
room,
like one wall completely transfers into something else or changes into something else to make it look like you actually were teleported into the ship. And you're like, whoa, like where did that even come from?
And I think what's really hard to do on a ride is scale, like to make things seem big on the ride. And I think because this is a massive, like we said, $500 million roller coaster, it does feel like you're in space, and the Celestial you see is giant and holding a planet, and you're spinning around him, and it's kind of it's
very cool.
It's really well done and really fun. So I think, I mean, ultimately, go ride it, right?
Right. Just go to Disney World.
And if you go, and this is something else that's what's really fun, especially since it is customizable, it seems, is this, much like some other attractions at Disney World, will have a Christmas version starting this year. So it's in a different ride if you ride it during the holidays. I'm sure a different playlist, some holiday stuff going on.
Fun.
I don't know if the story changes, but yeah, that's really fun. And you know what? We got to come back later because we also, with Andrew, maybe now less than a year ago, went to Avengers Campus in...
Oh, yeah.
I don't think we've done a pod about it yet, but we rode 2 MCU rides there.
Yes, we did.
We did the Guardians ride that replaced Tower of Terror. What was it called? Some Escape. I forgot.
Oh,
and then we did the Spider-Man ride as well. The web. I forgot that name of that ride too.
It's like a web shooter.
Yeah, that one's interactive too. So this is not Cosmic Rewind at Epcot. Maybe one of the first MCU rides for Disney World, but Avengers Campus is there, and Avengers Campus in Paris has opened.
Oh, yes. Okay, so Guardians of the Galaxy's Mission Breakout. That's the one that replaced
a lot of Guardians rides, huh? A lot of people love Guardians.
Well, they have a good soundtrack, and they have a good cast, and the story is really cool because
you can build something around it.
Yeah, since it's
fun.
Like out in the universe, it's like whatever. Like you can imagine anything.
Yeah. And I think that if you're thinking of the most fun Avengers, it's got to be the Guardians together.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And then the Spider-Man ride, just so Web Slinger is what it's called. Not Web Shooters, Web Slinger.
That one's fun. It's got a lot of Tom Holland. It's got a lot of interactive
and who doesn't love
shooting
a lot
stuff.
Of Tom Holland.
So, yeah, that'll be really fun. But hey, that's it for this week. We talked a little bit about I Am Groot and then the Cosmic Rewind roller coaster at Epcot. I mean, a lot of MCU stuff. And then we'll talk about She-Hulk next week. But Sophia, what do you have to plug?
Just thank you so much for your patience and understanding for last week. You have no idea. I really appreciate it. And then I also appreciate you listening again to our pod. And if you want to support us even further than ever before, you can at Patreon. Everything's going to be available at patreon.com/delphinpod, DELFINPOD. All the other shows are going to be on there. Please feel free to listen in. And if you want to follow me on any socials, you sure can. Everything's going to be at _Simply Sophie, SOFIEE.
For sure. Listen to all the other Dolphin Pod shows. We're recording our Halloween month of Revenge of the Sequel, and those are coming out on Patreon right now. So if you can't wait until October, go to patreon.com/dolphinpod. Listen to that stuff. It's really fun. We record them all in person. There's fun games, and the month's theme is werewolf. So we're talking werewolf sequels.
That's cool.
But thanks so much for listening. We will be back next week in court.
Yes.
Because we're going to be talking about She-Hulk Attorney at Law. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.